as someone who's there for that last step, it puts you in the position of being an interpreter, where with modern low end, well, we can do this, well, but they couldn't. It wasn't even in their thought process. So you're introducing an artificiality to the stream to ingratiate some contemporary hearing range. So it's up to you to figure out what the clearest, truest path is. And so when you're working with old tape, when you're remastering for re-release, you are constantly put in this position of having to be like having the last say before it goes to me when I buy it and put it on the. So what's a more like run-of-the-mill experience? Do you go back to like the earliest pressing of vinyl that you can find, or find someone from the session? Like what's a more day-to-day process?
I'm finding now that the original pressing, that's the one. I mean, you made records. We labor over the original mastering, whatever medium we're mastering for, and we go home, we compare it to everything, we A/B very carefully. But subsequently, you never go back and check. There's no real. You don't check on what the plants in Europe are doing, and you certainly don't check on something 5 years, in the future. So when I got the gig at Blue Note, one of the very first things was we had to start remastering some vinyl. So I requisitioned an album that I know very well, as well as Sticky Fingers in Exile, which is Mode for Joe by Joe Henderson. It's the first Blue Note record I ever bought as a teenager, and I still have my original copy. And we put the master tapes up, and it was beautiful. I got choked up listening to it, but it sounded nothing like the vinyl I had, because Rudy Van Gelder had done a few things in mastering. He mastered his own records. The records he recorded them. Everything in our catalog was recorded to direct to 2-track, mixed as it was going down up until 1972. There are no multi-tracks until after 1972. Wow. So you put the tapes up, and you can kind of hear, this is an older thing, you can hear that they're young guys and that they're in this room. It's an intimate portrait. But what was lacking was, you put a little compression on, and the drummer sounds a little more muscular, and things, there's an energy that comes from that. So I was like, well, this is cool, but we can't put this record out like this. But I did remember my experience with the Stones, and I tried to learn from that. So we called Rudy Van Gelder, and we said, all right, what's the truth here, man? And he said, if you really want to know the truth is the original lacquers that I cut on the lathe, those sounded amazing, but they're not around, no one saves them, and they collapse after a while. Right. He said, but so short of that, yeah, the original pressing. And we have all those. And what we don't have, there are collectors out there, and we've called collectors.
So you have tapped the collectors out there for help.
There's a guy I found. He's got the license plate, Mr. Blue Note, and we tracked him down, and he's been of great help to us. And he's out in the valley, and he's come to some of the remastering sessions, and but it's the same thing as with the Stones, man. Just don't editorialize. If everyone was excited in the room that day and giving each other high fives and all that, yes, this is what we're putting out. Right. Then why would you change that? How would I know? So I see myself as my role is to really protect their original intention. And by the way, it sounds better when you do that too.
Sure.